Happy Monday, YouTube! Welcome to another installment in the Kinnikuman Perfect Origin Character Intros. Today we are looking at spoilers, Pentagon, right? So last week's episode we kind of saw Black Hole kind of just show up and then kind of struggle against Jack G. And then this week we learned that Black Hole is not alone. Instead, he has his good cousin and tag partner Pentagon out there to help him. That was kind of foreshadowed in last week's episode, which I don't love how kind of the anime sort of spoiled already. But if you weren't spoiled by the anime, you'll be spoiled by this video, because today we're gonna talk about all about Pentagon, because we already talked about a Black Hole with last season. So here we go, Pentagon. So as you can tell, probably from just like how he moves, how he is in the anime, right? Pentagon is not too unlike Black Hole. He has like a lot of like high flying acrobatic moves, right? He has a lot of flippy stuff, a lot of kind of like just stuff where he launches himself forwards. Like it's a very acrobatic, very like high flying character. So he has like a lot of kind of cool factor that Black Hole has. If you remember the Black Hole video, you might remember that I mentioned that Black Hole looks cool, but isn't actually cool. He kind of doesn't really have combos, his damage is very limited, he just doesn't actually do as much as he seems like he should be doing. He's much more style over substance. I'm happy to tell you with Pentagon, it's quite the opposite. He is quite as cool as he looks. He looks cool, and then the things that he actually gets to do is actually pretty cool in this game. He has pretty cool throws. That's just a power driver, but trust me, he does have like some cool moves, and he actually has like a robust combo system. He actually like does some pretty fun stuff. He can do stuff like this as a combo, and then you can basically like juggle off of that. He has an air throw, and that alone already makes him a lot more interesting combo-wise than someone like Black Hole, right? And there's like a lot of really cool confirms. He can do like stuff like this, for example. Oops, let me try that again. Right? You can like get this very like low altitude pickups into like a launcher, into like a air throw, and that's really neat. You can do like some really neat stuff like that. You can have like a lot of fun with this character with just like his combos, especially. Even like his basic juggle, like his style, you can do something like this. Let me try it again. Fully disclosure, I'm pretty bad at this character. I don't play him very often, but you can see that he does do like some pretty cool stuff. I haven't even got to all of his specials yet. But you can already kind of see he has like stuff going on. I think like more than Black Hole. Maybe like less gimmicky, or he doesn't have teleports or anything like that. But overall, like a more functional character, because he does actually have a combo game, and he does have all these very nice buttons to kind of like play neutral with. What else like does he have? He has some. We've kind of gone over like the combos. We've gone over kind of like the really neat pokes. His frame data is like not bad. Like they're actually like pretty fast. That said, a lot of his stuff is a bit unsafe, which is one of his major issues, which we'll touch upon a bit more later. But his actual frame data is pretty fast. Like this is a pretty fast medium stun poke. This two-way is pretty big for how fast it is. This is a pretty fast like kind of knockdown heavy stun move. So it's like his 8A, right? You can even like cancel like his 8A. You can even do combos like, I don't know if I showed this combo earlier, and if I have, I apologize. We can do something like this. Oops. Right? You can like kind of pick up off his 8A, so you can do like a lot of like these really cool kind of just like juggles into his air throw, and that's like really neat. That's definitely like a big fun part about the character. Right? And of course, the crowning jewel, the king of the crop is, and I've done a whole video about this, so definitely check back to that if you want, is of course he has his famous super, Stop the Time. But he just like does this. If I can do it, for some reason. Stop the time. It literally, as the name implies, stops time. It's a frame 1, fully active, 0 frame recovery parry, basically, that if it triggers, the opponent gets frozen, and you basically get to do whatever combo you want. And unlike Kamen from a few episodes ago, Pentagon makes people explode off of this, right? Let me actually like have to do like the optimal stop the time combo. Right, that's not quite it. What again? There we go. 781, which is like insane damage, right? And just like with comments, this basically means your opponent is forced to respect the super because they can just pop it and then get, you know, if you trigger it and you're standing, you can just randomly eat almost 800 damage, which is a lot of damage in this game. So yeah, Pentagon definitely has a lot of the stuff that makes Black Hole fun while actually being more functional than Black Hole, having like some of those cool, it has a lot of like common, though it's probably like more like other way around, and just like a pretty neat character that way. Now, what makes Pentagon not great? The big one is his damage. Pentagon like damage 11, which in this game is very low. Damage rating is basically kind of like not getting like onto technical, kind of like how much damage you do, kind of like proportionally. Like it doesn't map 1-to-1, but generally kind of like with lower damage ratings, do less damage, right? Pentagon is damage rating 11. As you can see, he does damage like in the multiples of 11, which is pretty low. Most characters in the game have like 13 or 14. Pentagon has 11, which is quite bad. And this music, he just like overall like does less damage. Like not as much less, like he probably still does more damage than like Black Hole or Common just because he actually has real combos, but definitely still below average damage, right? This is made worse because unlike Black Hole or Common, he doesn't actually have a special throw. The closest thing he has is just a hit grab, which does almost no damage, and a slightly better hit grab that looks like this. Yeah, I'm not hit grab. Which is also like not very good, but at least like it's something. But that basically means that off of like a rope bounce, Pentagon basically has to do like a weird like, you know, stun overflow juggle or something like that. Or he has to stick for it with his hit grab, which is just not very good. And do something like this, I guess. And sometimes it misses, right? It's just like not as good as a regular special throw. But yeah, that's like abysmal damage. He doesn't get any OTG off of it, even, right? So not having like this, like not having special throw combined with this already low damage means like he just doesn't do a lot of damage. He again also just his health, also like 950 health, so kind of below average. So he shares a lot of the problems that you maybe have heard in like in the series, right? Kind of low health, low damage. So it's always kind of going against kind of like an uphill battle. So very similar to maybe someone like Black Hole or sort of Common from early, or Stakasa King, for example, from earlier like in this series. Though unlike those characters, he does have sauce, right? He does have just really cool combos, and that goes a long way to just making him more interesting, more fun, but also just making him a lot more playable. He's definitely better than a lot of those characters. He probably sits at worst, you know, high-low tier, but probably like not much better than, you know, a solid mid tier or like a low mid tier. That's probably like what I would put him personally. So definitely not a great character because of those stats and his general like lack of safety that I mentioned earlier. A lot of his moves, even though like they're fast, they're pretty bad on parry or on like whiff or block, right? If you can, a lot of them are like better if you can like charge cancel them, right? Like this 8A is like pretty good if you can charge cancel them, but if it gets parried, you can charge cancel, and now you're maybe kind of like in hot water, right? Stuff like his 2A, for example, also is a lot worse if it's parried. So Pentagon's kind of neutral game is not bad because he's like fast buttons, but they're inherently kind of risky because a lot of them are very bad if they get blocked or parried or if they whiff, right? So you have to be very careful with him, and you know, again, if you mess up and you do get your key buttons parried or whiffed, you just randomly die to just a big combo, right? Because again, he has like lower life. So that's definitely what's holding Pentagon back. But he's still very functional. Definitely, if I have a cutoff of like, don't play these characters, right? Someone like Black Hole will probably be below that line, but someone like Pentagon will be above that line. I do think he is not amazing, but a much more than serviceable character. And if nothing else, his combos are just so fun. Look at that. Look how sick that was, right? Now, as usual, I will leave you with his other super. That is his Space Rush. You saw Stop the Time. It's obviously not that. You saw Stop the Time. That was obviously very good. I guess I can still like mention that he also has kind of like a less good Stop the Time, kind of like a baby version of it. That's just DP backwards. That's the Chronos change, where he swaps positions with his opponent like that. It works on like strikes, it works on throws. It's really fun to just kind of see someone throw you and then suddenly yoink, you're getting thrown, not me. right? It was even on like special throws, so it can be really fun to just see like Pentagon like Kinnikuman buster someone by just reversing a Kinnikuman buster like that. So it's actually like a really fun character with a lot of like little neat fun stuff. But yeah, his other super is unfortunately like not very good. It's a strike super for one, which so that's not great. It's also very slow. It's 30 frame startup. That's kind of like the animation on whiff. It's a cool super. Doesn't give you, I think it gives you an OTG, I believe, but just it being really slow means it's kind of difficult to use. But I think it's like kind of cool. Actually, that's right. It's even so active that you even have to kind of delay your OTG, otherwise it won't hit. Yeah, like just like that. So it bumps up the damage a little bit, but not a lot, right? But yeah, that's kind of Pentagon. Not too much going on, I guess. I mean, of course, like he's a character. Definitely not too bad. I can't really call him solid because he's a bit maybe too risky and too low damage to be called solid. But you will enjoy him. I definitely recommend the people who are disappointed that Black Hole isn't very good to give Pentagon a try instead, because he has all that same flavor, I guess, in the sense that he you know, he's also like an acrobatic kind of like semi-luchador fighter with a lot of these like very acrobatic and flashy moves, except he's actually a lot more playable than Black Hole. And if you really just prefer Black Hole to design, remember Pentagon has a alt color original to this game that makes him like black instead of white, and it's a pretty cool alt color. So you kind of pretend that this is Black Hole if you really are just bummed out that you can't play Black Hole, right? So there's obviously like still that. So yeah, definitely give Pentagon a try if you're disappointed by Black Hole especially. But yeah, that's kind of Pentagon. Not too much going on for this video, unfortunately. Not every video can be as in-depth as a Ramen video. I do try to keep this at a kind of like very intro level. The Ramen 101 kind of got out of hand. But yeah, next week, who are we having? I guess technically I shouldn't spoil it. I don't know. Again, remember that I record these in advance, so I don't necessarily know how far the anime will or have gotten. But I have a pretty good idea. And I guess if this is spoiler, I'm sorry, I apologize in advance. But you're probably either seeing Buffalo Man or Spring Man next week, kind of depending on, I guess, with the vibes of the episode, right? So look forward to either of those two characters. Either way, if not one, the other will be the week after that. So if you've been waiting for Buffalo Man or Spring Man, look forward to just look forward like the next couple of weeks, because they're pretty neat. They're pretty neat characters for sure. But yeah, today's video was Pentagon though, and as little as his appearance in the last episode, he's definitely still very memorable. He's definitely still like has a lot of fans. So if you're a Pentagon fan, or you're a spurned Black Hole fan, Pentagon is not amazing, but not an awful choice in this game. So definitely, yeah, you could do like a lot worse than Pentagon. But yeah, as usual, this has been Fish Shabs with another character intro. Let's see how long this keeps up. And yeah, just keep playing MGP2.